Hello viewers, I am ReaverJolt and welcome back to the Monster Hunter World Iceborne Classic Challenge. If you haven't seen part 1 of this challenge, I recommend checking that out before watching this video. Today we'll be finishing off the challenge. At this point, I had to figure out what weapons and armor to get for Iceborne. Finding a weapon that is from the old world that has a complete design plus can be crafted right away and doesn't require new world materials was a daunting task. While Savage Deviljho's gun lance looks like an excellent option, his equipment didn't exist in 3 Ultimate, which leaves us with only 2 options. 1. We either stick with the insatiable gun lance the whole way through, or 2. We craft the Rathian sword and shield and max that out as much as we can. I unfortunately found out that high rank weapons seem to have a damage limit, so we're going to have to go with the Rathian sword and shield. Boy, is that going to be hard to get used to with these rules. So with that, let's jump straight into Iceborne. It was at this point where I forgot to turn damage indicators off for this challenge. Boy, I'm not looking forward to the comments. After crafting our new rapier, I decide to get a little practice in with the MH3U moveset. It's extremely limited, but I can work with it, and it's not as bad as I thought. After a long while of grinding, we obtain our Royal Rose Plus. After looking at some of the master rank equipment, Rathian's armor looks like the best option at this point considering it doesn't require any new world materials. After farming Rathian a bunch to get the armor, we do our next quest. The mighty Antechadrome Banbaro was pretty easy as stunning him with the shield took little effort. He goes down and our next target is Viper Tobikadachi, aka Randy Orton. He would have been hard to deal with if I wasn't immune to deadly poison with the armor. We are now able to make the BoaBoa armor for our palico. Now the materials required are new world items, but I'm making an exception here because BoaBoa armor is the closest thing we have for our palico looking like Kayamba. So with that, we can finally use our Gajalaka. We go for Nightshade Palumu and he was pretty annoying as he just wouldn't land. I came prepared for his sleep gas though. After taking him down, we take on Coral Puke. He wasn't too bad other than taking high pressured water to the face a bunch. Next was Bariat, and he was pretty challenging as he made it hard to hit him sometimes. Plus he would knock me around with his cyclones. But with some patience and persistence, he goes down. Glavenus was next and he took way longer than I would have liked. The fight mostly consisted of bouncing off his tiny arms and attacking the tail when he uses his super attack. But after a long while, we took him down. And as for Nargacuga, he wasn't hard, but he was taking just as long. Next was Brachydios, and he was just as hard as he was in 3 Ultimate, considering he's the main flagship of that game. I'm gonna be farming some of his armor. After a while of grinding, we now have the armor set for the rest of the game, I think. The only thing left is to upgrade our sword and shield. It needs monster solid bones, which require us to progress further before we can get any. We take on Tigrex, and he wasn't hard to deal with as we were dealing good damage and kept tiring him out with Stamina Thief. After taking him down, we get a taste of what Volcana will be like with our restrictions. He was easy here, but I highly doubt he'll be much of a pushover later on. Shrieking Legiana was up, and with our rule set, he was actually pretty fun to fight. This'll likely be a hit for a certain top 10 video. I wonder what that could be. After taking him down, we go after Fulgur Anjanath. He was a little more annoying than expected as he fainted me twice. But after taking him down, we can now access the quest where we can get solid bones. As we went to get the bones needed, we also got the mantle I've been spending hours grinding. I guess we can use those to get the leggings now. We now have the full final set for the rest of the game. It has armor pieces from the flagship monsters from Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, which is kind of ironic considering the challenge. Funny how that worked out. And our sword and shield is as maxed as it can be. I can say this took a lot of grinding to get. Now let's take on the rest of the game. We go after Ebony Odogaron first. He was pretty challenging as he would do a lot of damage, plus every monster ever wanted to pick a fight with him. After that was Acidic Glavenus. He replaced the Fated 4 cough. Hunting him was pretty tricky because of the quick tail attacks. Plus the defense down didn't help. But after a bit of patience, he goes down. We take on Velkhana in a siege and it wasn't very hard. I didn't even have to use the roaming ballista here. And when it came to the actual hunt, it was not as hard as I anticipated. His pattern was easy to pick up and getting hits in was no problem. The only issue besides taking a lot of damage and running out of potions was not being able to use the icicle ledges to our advantage with our rule set. Next was Seething Basilgoose. He wasn't at all hard as his whole body was a giant weak point, making it a rather easy hunt with 3 Ultimate rules. Before we take on our next target, I need to farm up some armor spheres. The Basil quest should do nicely. After upgrading our armor, our next target is Black Veil Valhazak. I gotta say, I was not looking forward to this fight. Without any miasma jewels, this was a daunting task as the effluvium spores can drain your health quick if you're not careful. I ran out of nullberries in mere minutes and had to fight without him. I did faint later on due to a bad spot I was in, but after being careful, he goes down. We then go after Namiel. This one was tough because I was getting knocked back left and right by the water breath a bunch, but also getting stunned caused a couple of feints as well. But after coming back, this one goes down. It's now time to go to the final part of this challenge. This is the set and skills that I am running. This is my inventory full of items I prepared. What happens next will be the toughest part of this challenge. Ruiner Nergigante was up, and he was pretty difficult to deal with, but also easy to get damage in. However, he did make me use a lot of healing items I was hoping to save for the final battle. After a bit, we take it down. Now we come to the final battle, Shara Ishvalda. My biggest concern with this fight, other than my items not being replenished, was the first phase. This is because normally when you fight Shara in the first stage, you wallbang him to the rocks to deal thousands of damage, but here it's just me with my trusty sword and shield. Thankfully, the first phase wasn't that bad. However, the second phase was a lot harder. If you don't stay close to Shara when he does the big beam, you're basically dead. I actually failed the quest because of the unreplenished items from the fight with Nergi. Thanks a lot, spiky boy! I wasn't about to give up. I know I can do this. On my second attempt, I had to go full focus this time. Patience was basically a requirement. Now before we continue, I need to admit that I did kinda wallbang Shara on my second attempt off cam during the first phase. Yes, I broke my own rule of the challenge just to get this video out faster. I feel kinda bad, so I'll leave a poll in the description so you guys can decide on what rules we do next for Iceborne. I want a chance to redeem myself for cheating in my own challenge, as weird as that sounds. Anyway, back to the video. The key was focusing on the forelegs. He had me at a few close calls and I even fainted, but Kayamba came in clutch. I was even using barrel bombs to do extra damage. Dodging his spirit bomb was a no-brainer, and I got the hang of dodging his beam by moving to the sides. And after all that, this happens. We beat Shara Ishvalda. Now to answer the question, is it possible to beat Monster Hunter World and Iceborne like it's a classic Monster Hunter game, or in this case, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate? The answer is yes.